I'd like to do next an endangered species in the folk music community. All folk music is at least a little bit endangered because all folks are a little endangered because I mentioned the forthcoming apocalypse, right? I actually don't believe in that, but you know, the sun went away a couple of weeks ago. Did that happen here in Knoxville? The sun went away for a second. That's terrifying. You think that the world's going to end, but dang it, it didn't, and we have to go back to trying to treat each other well, you know? Isn't that a huge, I was ready. But the particular endangered species that I'd like to revive for a moment is the talking blues, something where I do a little bit of lazy, relaxed picking as if I was sitting beside a river or something, and then I just talk in sotto tones. It's perfect for the radio, and a genre invented for, you know, long tangents on the radio in a time before organized programming like you would have here at the Blue Plate Special. Anyhow, am I getting ahead of myself? I'm sorry that was so political. I take it all back. I want to do one called Peculiar Missouri, and this is really for everybody that's out there driving right now because it takes place in a car. So the idea is for you to pretend that you're driving and that I am sitting side saddle and that we've been living in the same car for about probably a couple months. So roll up the windows, or sorry, roll down the windows. I'm sorry about that. Just loping down the highway. Driving home after many months away. We're about to pass through the city of Peculiar in the state of Missouri, as we do always, right before we hit the loving cradle of those hills of home. Let me tell you, friends, there's nothing odd about the city of Peculiar, M.O. Heck, you can pull out your Googledy box and look it up for your own ding-dang self. You'll see that even the name has a boring backstory. Yeah, it's an old railroad town that turned into a suburb that begat an exurb that turned into a certifiable grade A USDA prime small town anywhere, everywhere, USA. You know, it's the type of ugly little town you've already been to before, even if you haven't once stepped foot in it. I shouldn't have to take too much time to describe an ugly little town on the outskirts of many other ugly little towns to the denizens of Knoxville, etc. And no offense, but frankly, friends, if there was a great big waiting room for America, it would not be in some place as beautiful as these mountains here in Knoxville. It would be in the American Midwest, in that interminable expanse of corn and soybean fields. Yes, if America did indeed have a waiting room, it would be there. And if you found yourself trapped in that great big Midwestern waiting room, you might find yourself a little bored living inside of the strange irony that this is a reception area and there's no ding-dang cellular reception, so you don't have any entertainment while you sit around waiting for a guy in a white lab coat to take $1,000 of your hard-earned money to basically tell you to eat less sugar, maybe wrap it up next time, you know what I'm saying? So if you're trapped inside of that great big Midwestern waiting room, you might be looking for a little bit of entertainment and you see a old magazine sitting on the counter, shining like a shrine in front of you. You reach out to the old magazine. It's, use your imagination, maybe like Sports Illustrated 2001, Men's Health 1997, something with Tiger Woods or Lance Armstrong still on the cover. You know, simpler times, you think to yourself as you reach for the magazine and you open it up to the centerfold where you see a little ad courtesy of the Peculiar Missouri Tourism Department. Just one old lady named Gladys. And it says the town's little motto, come visit us in Peculiar, Missouri. It's a town where the odds are always with you. And where it's not weird if you love it here. So friend, pull off the highway. Let's get a little rest before a long night of driving. You're driving this rig in this imaginary scenario, remember? So look out for that pickup truck. Whoa! People drive crazy around here. Shoot. Hang a Richard there, Ricky. There you go. I bet you know where we're going already, though, friend. Yeah, short of any public amenities, there's about one place you can rest and get a bite to eat in a little town like this after sundown. There's no BLM free campground. There's no YMCA, and the liquor store closes at sundown, so it looks like we're going to have to spend the evening at the Walmart. Yes, sir, we got a standing invitation to the hideous halogen bulbs of the all-night Wally world, where an uneasy truce abides between the traveling kind and the megacorporations that deign to keep us from using our advanced degrees for the betterment of mankind. So we're going to jump in there. We're going to have ourselves a little party. What do you think? We step outside of the van. You're a little bit tired of my BS, so you slam the door. It makes me jump. We walk up to the Wally World. I try to grab your hand, but you slough me off. The door slides open. We step inside. that blast of cool air hits us. And that sweet old man greets us. And can't you see how everything in here is glowing, friend? Resplendent with objects from China, Indonesia, Bangladesh, and beyond. So clean, so sweet, so friendly. Oh, friend, I'm no fan of the way every mom and pop coast to coast got replaced by a superstore, but I swear to God that here, in the place you can get the same deck of cards in Tucumcari and Dubuque, and the same pack of rubbers in Alberta and Atlanta, I might just fall to my knees at the glory and abundance that is the sameness of all things. All things partying away in the last age of a godforsaken Babylon. It's like we're waiting on the oceans to rise. Like we're waiting for New York City and LA to get swallowed up by the ocean. Like we're waiting on our own personal and private apocalypses. Well, friend, I think we might need to get the heck out of here. It seems like I'm having a come apart here in the cosmetics aisle, wondering about the cosmos and trying to ascertain what the right shade lip gloss is to cover up the joy and shame of living your own accursed existence here on this godforsaken rock. While we stand here and earnestly consider whether or not we're going to shoplift this coral color of lipstick that we've agreed upon through only mutual eye contact, let us also briefly consider, friend, how we might be too much for the world, how we might not have done enough for the world, how we might be the last generation of people to have these marvelous middle-class lifestyles, staring down at a supercomputer that advertises at us at speeds that would make our grandparents literally vomit from confusion. Meanwhile, over in the third world, there's a bunch of countries that we haven't even heard of digging for pieces of gold or cobalt or whatever the heck goes inside of the battery of that supercomputer, and most of them wish they weren't born into this life of suffering at all because they didn't choose to be born and work for no pay after all. And we sit here definitely not holding hands, definitely feeling increasingly disconnected, even though we have absolutely everything we could possibly want made out of plastic at the moment's notice. And then we just sit here kind of waiting for the wars for oil to transform into wars for water. So I pocket the lip gloss. I pocket a second color of the lip gloss. I'm about to pocket a third color, but you slap my hand away. You're kind of cheeky like that. We look towards the door. That ancient old man is still standing there. He doesn't give a dang if we shoplift a thing. He doesn't get paid enough. We rush right past him. The door slides open. We step out into the tumid night. And friend, that was when you turned to me and you finally took my hand and you pointed upwards to a single shooting star directly in the center of the sky. And you said, "Give me hunger, O you gods that sit and give the world its orders. Give me hunger, pain, and want. Shut me out with shame and failure from your doors of gold and fame. Give me your shabbiest and weariest hunger, but leave for me a little love, a voice to speak to at day's end, a hand to touch in the dark room, breaking up this long loneliness. In the dusk of the day shapes, let's be this one little wandering western star, thrust out from the changing shores of shadow." And for God's sakes, Bubba, let's go back home. Peculiar's always going to be here, and well, we're going to be going down Highway 70 westbound again before too long anyhow. Maybe you let me drive the last leg of this journey, friend. I'd like to sit and look out the window. Maybe try on this lip gloss. I wish I knew what we were supposed to do with ourselves. If you get any bright ideas over there, I sure hope you'll let me know. Thanks, guys.